And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On the latest Pop Culture Cosmos, Josh Peterson and I covered the Golden Globes, last week's Consumer Electronics Show. A lot of good stuff there. And now we also cover our most anticipated in pop culture, the TV shows, the games, and the movies we are most excited to see in 2026. We cover all that and more on the latest Pop Culture Cosmos. No bad language. You could play it on your way to work. You could play it while you work. It's totally cool to do. That's on a flat hour for you. It's really good. I hope you get a chance to check it out. It is the Pop Culture Cosmos on YouTube and wherever you get your audio podcasts. Plus, also as well, of course, Drip Show. Always got some good stuff going on, including what you see here with Kobe and Gigi right there for the pillow right there and behind me. The guys right there who both kind of up in the air whether or not they would play. Questionable indeed. I know Stell says, "Oh, you're wrong, Gerald. You're wrong." Well, it was the first time all season LeBron has played a back-to-back. Let's see him do it next week. But he did it today, and good thing he did, because he sure looked a hell of a lot better today than he did yesterday, that's for sure. But go ahead and check it out right there with the canvas art that LeBron James and also Luka right there for you. He can do the same for you. Drip Show. At Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. There's no one better for your canvas art, your pillows, your t-shirts, hats, posters, and more. Go ahead. Follow him at Drip Show Shop on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, what have you. Go ahead and send him a message and he'll let you know whether or not he can do it. Pop culture related, sports related, he's got a cooking for you right there at Trip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. What's up, Serge? Best mod in the business. How you doing, my friend? It was the Lakers on the back-to-back after a humiliating performance. They lit the beam on the Lakers yesterday in Sacramento. And so what would happen with the Hawks facing the Lakers tonight at the Crypt with both Luka and LeBron uncertain to go ahead and play in the back-to-back? A lot of people, just like myself, Joe, a lot of other people, we all just assumed that, nope, not going to play with LeBron, of course, because he's 41 years old. And over Luka said in warm-ups yesterday that he felt something in his groin. No jokes, please. And was unsure if he was going to even play that game. Well, he scored 42 in that game, so we would see how it happened. And you know what? Over the course of the day, they worked out. They felt good enough. And they decided to go ahead and give it a shot. Jackson Hayes, however, has some issue with his hamstring, has an MRI, and pending the MRI, he may be back, though, hopefully by the next game, but we'll have to wait and see what the test results of that MRI is. But he was out of the game on the second night of a back-to-back as the Lakers went in to the Crypt to face off against the Atlanta Hawks. And right away, it looked like offense would be on the plate for the Lakers tonight as they went out, scored aplenty, and actually built up a 32-point lead at one time. Things were looking sweet for the Lakers for once. For once, the Lakers had an upper hand. In the third quarter, though, the Atlanta Hawks clawed their way back as a Hawk can do. Got it down in the fourth quarter, early in the fourth quarter to, I believe, 11, if I'm not mistaken, before the Lakers, they actually decided to finally focus in, put their foot on the gas, and distance themselves once again. And with about 2-3 minutes left, it became garbage time, which is always good news for us right here. The Lakers needed some garbage time as they finally get an easy win, their first easy win since last year against Sacramento in the Schroeder wanted to kick Luka's ass game. But tonight, much more enjoyable. And I don't think anybody wants to go ahead and beat up anybody in the hallway this time around. So the Lakers get away with an easy victory tonight, 141-116. The Lakers now are 24-14. Where they are in the Western Conference is still being updated as we speak. They have pulled ahead of the Phoenix Suns, excuse me, I'm sorry, the Houston Rockets, because the Houston Rockets won earlier tonight and were technically tied pending this game. So the Lakers move back into fifth place in the Western Conference. Not 8.5 games out. They're 8.5 games out of the lead by OKC, who won tonight earlier against the San Antonio Spurs. But tonight, it was all about Luka and LeBron, but a little bit more help this time around as they really shot well from three early for the team that actually took over worst shooting team from three in the league after what happened last night. Looked a lot better today, 56% from three, 58% overall, 87% from the line. Very efficient, and you could tell on the scoreboard 141 to 116. They dominated for, let's just say, three of the four quarters over the Atlanta Hawks today. Absolutely a great performance by the guys. Let me go ahead and run off some of the numbers there for you. And it's not just LeBron James today with 31, 9, and 10 assists. It's not just DeAndre Ayton with 17 and 18 rebounds today. Luka Doncic, 27 and 12 assists. A little bit more differentiating as far as way he wanted to distribute the basketball, and I think that was really more effective, something we talked about last night. Marcus Smart showed up today offensively with 16 points himself, and also Jake LaRavia, 17 points for him. Those guys were really much maligned after what happened last night. Today, they scored at least 30 points more than they scored yesterday, as the Lakers do win 141 to 116. Off the bench, Gabe Vincent got 9 of his 10 points early when he got hot from three early in the game. Rui Hashimura, 7 points for him. And then the rest of the guys, Nick Smith Jr. hit a couple threes late for 6 points. Kobe Buffkin, the latest Laker, who signed a 10-day contract, wasn't even supposed to really play today because the word from JJ was, quote, or paraphrasing here, that he was really not going to play Kobe Buffkin unless he had to, but he was going to play it sometime during the 10-day stretch. Well, he did get a chance to play and did hit a three. Dalton Connect had 2. Drew Timmy came in and hit 2, and then Jared Vanderbilt had 3 and so on. But again, the Lakers put it in the garbage time, kicked into gear in the fourth quarter, and won 141 to 116, hopefully making us feel a little bit better about where the Lakers stand heading into their next game, I believe, against Charlotte. Let me go ahead and confirm that that's going to be the case. But yes, the Lakers do win 141 to 116. They're now 24 and 14 on the season. Always like it more when the differential between the wins and the losses is into the double digits. Always better indeed. But yes, want to hear what you guys have to say. Don't forget the next game is at home against Charlotte, 7:30 p.m. at the Crypt on Thursday. We'll be back for the post game. Obviously, it will be great to talk to you guys as well. Alan, thank you so much. Appreciate the kind words. Absolutely. You are awesome yourself. When Mark didn't have everybody on mute, and you on mute, you were trying to ask him a question for almost a full quarter, and he's oh my gosh, that was funny. But thank you. Very kind words for you, my friend. Truly wanted to break that down for you guys. But you guys feel a little bit better tonight after an easy victory, relatively easy victory, because they did let them back into the game. Lost a little focus in that third quarter, but never really got out of the double digits as the Lakers then pulled away 141 to 116. Want to go ahead and hear what you guys had to say. Hasn't earned the Kobe name. Well, if that is his real name, which I believe it is, it wasn't his choice to make. His parents called him that. There's 3 Kobe's now in the league, with 2 of them on the Clippers. So there you go. El Rosto, what's going on, my friend? I think we were up 47, 48 wins at the most. Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Or were we at last year? We were at 50 wins last year. If this year, if it hits right around 47, 48, that's not too far off. But I want to see if the Lakers can do better. But will they make some necessary changes? Because, some of those stats leading into the game today were kind of concerning. And I hope you guys got a chance to check out some of those stats because, when the Lakers lose, those stats seem to keep flying out at everyone out there. So I wanted to go ahead and share a little bit about coming into the game what the Lakers were actually at in some statistical categories. I'm going to bring it down right here. Lakers were last in the league coming into the game in 3-point percentage. They're next to last in the opponent's 3-point percentage. The Lakers' average 3-point percentage is 33.7. 37.9 is the opponent's average 3-point percentage versus the Lakers. Lakers ranking in corner threes allowed was 27. So they're 27th in the league in that. And yeah, it's really just wasn't that good. They're 26th in defensive rating, 26th in rebounds, 30th in 3-point percentage, like I mentioned earlier, and 30th in bench points. And that was coming into the game. So again, these are things that the Lakers need to focus in on, whether either try to get some of these guys in better positions for better looks at the basket or better shots at the basket, or trying to go out and make some moves and trades, which I know a lot of you guys want to see some action by Rob Pelinka. No, not by Rich Paul, by Rob Pelinka, because Rich Paul, he only GMs on podcasts. As if you guys heard, I think he was on Max Kellerman's podcast on the Ringer Network, and he recently was on there a couple days ago or last, whatever. He was out there within the past 24, 48 hours it hit. And he noted that he wanted, if he was Lakers GM, and I'm paraphrasing again, Austin Reeves for Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr., who, quite coincidentally, or not, whatever you want to way you slice it, is a Clutch client. So you can take that for what it is. Of course, when he's doing these mock trades, these fantasy trades, they're always including his clients coming from another team to him. So yeah, there you go right there. But once again, it is Gerald Glassford. Thanks a lot for appreciate it. Dede, yes, Rich Paul is going to get a lot of hate for that one. I think so. Well, let's look at that for just a second. First off, Triple J, if you look at his contract, you would have to trade a lot of pieces if you wanted Jaren Jackson Jr. right now, because remember, he signed that extension in the offseason. So it is going to be a lot of money, but that you're going to have to pay if you want to go ahead and afford Jaren Jackson Jr. Because right now, this year, he is making $35 million this year, but then it zooms up to right around $50 million a year for the next 4 years. So kind of pricey, a lot of talent. But as you noted, if you guys got a chance to check out my latest NBA observations with Caleb Ponce, you guys understand that Triple J, for me, is one of the more disappointing players of the season because he's only averaging 18 and a half and 5 rebounds. And just, he's kind of just out there. And as you know, as I've talked about on this show, especially when they were here for a back-to-back series against the Lakers, he is just so talented. But even if that's the case, you would still need, if you tried to trade him today for Austin Reeves, you would still need 20 more on the Lakers side. In other words, $20 more million to add on to onto Austin Reeves before you could trade him dollar for dollar for Triple J. So that's what it would make it really hard. So I don't know why I know why he said that because it's his guy, but really, when you come off and say that, it's just like, did you do the math? Did you really do the math when making that statement? El Rosto, thank you so much for the super chat. Truly appreciate it, my friend. He says, Rich Paul smokes pole. And I'll let you guys go ahead and interpret that any way you want. But again, Rich Paul making waves, making news. 4 things he said. I've only found one thing. One thing he said, in my opinion, ever that I've actually taken a stock. I'm sure Adele has taken a lot more stock in what he said, seeing how they're dating. But with Rich Paul, for me, the only statement I've ever give him credence on or credit on would be the one where he said that Rob Pelinka is on 2 timelines as far as making the Lakers competitive now, but trying to keep an eye on keeping cap space clear for this upcoming summer or next year's summer as well. So that's I will give him some legitimacy on that. But what he said the other day in regards to trading Austin Reeves for Triple J, even if they had the exact money. Now, let's put it this way. Let me hear you guys in the chat. I'm kind of interested to say this. Let's put a what if. If Austin Reeves had a contract tomorrow that was the same exact dollar amount for Triple J, would you guys, let me know in the chat, and I'll read it out in the chat, would you guys want to trade AR for Triple J straight up? Would you trade AR for Triple J straight up? Knowing what you know, looking at the stats, looking at what you see there, would you trade AR for Triple J if they had the same dollar amount right there? JJ, what's going on, JJ Reddick? I know you're busy after the game. I appreciate you stopping by. Peyton Watson, 6'8", yes, can handle the ball, average 20. He's finally coming into his own, JJ. Now, beware. I agree with you. Peyton Watson has looked great this year. But, and you know, JJ, I'm sure you're probably someone that's experienced with the NBA. How many times have we seen, and this is just a warning, I'm not saying I wouldn't agree with you because I think I like Peyton Watson myself as well. But how many times have we seen a player have by far and away his best year with the team the year before he becomes an eligible free agent? Just ponder that. And you know, it's a money year. And the question is, will he be able to sustain it? I mean, everybody out there, sure, he would be able to say. You never know for sure because there's always that sign contractitis sometimes with some guys where they sign those big fat checks, like Jaren Jackson Jr. He is not playing like a guy that's even $35 million and who next year will be playing for $50 million. He's not playing like that guy right now in Memphis. We saw a guy tonight, Dyson Daniels. Excellent player, led the league in steals, 3 steals a game last year. His numbers, we talked about this again on the NBA observations. I hope you get a chance to check it out. His numbers are way down across the board, and he's shooting. Cover your ears, John. This might not be for younger audiences. Cover your ears. Dyson Daniels is shooting, I believe I said 11% from 3. So that's what I'm saying. So Peyton Watson, again, I would be interested in Peyton Watson. I have no question about that. But it always seems to where they're playing substantially. He's getting more time under Adelman than he did with Malone. No question. But it's always interesting to see when a player plays substantially better. I mean, you can say that same thing about Austin Reeves. He was a 20-point scorer last year, but he's really taken, before he got injured, a big step from what he was even last year. So you could say that same thing about him. But yeah, I'm just saying, JJ Redick, just to make sure you guys see that, okay, he's playing really well, but is this sustainable? Which is always the hardest thing to figure out when you sign these three. Like Jake Arabia.
Hey, Gerald.
His first 2 years, so bad that Memphis did not continue him on his rookie contract. So what does he do? He goes out and he shoots 40% from 3 between Memphis and Sacramento and really puts himself as a player to be looking out for. So Rob signs him. And so far, for the most part, it's paid off. Yesterday's game was not a good one, but today he came back. Marcus Smart came back. And today the Lakers look like a really good team today, in sync for about 3 of the 4 quarters there, as the Lakers do win 141-116. And here today is a good man indeed. It is, of course, the mastermind behind Lakers Corner and Clutch Talk. Please go ahead, like and subscribe to Lakers Corner. Everything he does, whether it's long form or short form, and, of course, his world-famous 3-minute report. It is my man indeed. It is, of course, John Costa. John, great to have you here. While I go ahead and read some of the comments, but yes. Oh, JJ said
I wanted to just real quick. Oh, no, I was just gonna say I'm still working on editing my 3-minute recap right now.
Okay.
But I just wanted to come on here real quick and say I hope that I am Hema and that black guy is here today, because this is gonna prove exactly what I was saying yesterday. These guys don't show up when the players do show out, And then every time they don't, they want to come out the woodworks and talk. So, Gerald, I'm gonna be MIA real quick, just because I need to edit this right here, okay?
Okay.
But I want you to let me know if they're here, because I am running a experiment, because I want to see how pussy these people actually are, because this is gonna show you how pussy they actually are.
I am Hema, and also as well.
And that black guy, they're not gonna show
yeah.
up. They don't
Okay.
fucking show up.
Do you want me to take you off the screen? Do you,
If you could for 1 second, I'm almost done
Okay.
editing this, and then I'll be right back on here.
So I've got just one thing left to say to you. Then
Talk to me.
hurry up, man! Hurry up! What's
Okay.
keeping you up, man?
I'm going. I'm
delayed.
coming. I'm coming.
All right, there you go. It is, of course, John Costa, Let's Talk Lakers Corner. I am now, I guess, the IHEMA Black Watchers as far as what I'm supposed to be waiting for in the chat if they come in. But great to have everyone here. Thanks so much. Yeah, Get it together, Costa, says Current Affair indeed. I have been watching JJ. I have been watching Peyton Watson. Obviously, since he was drafted by the team, and of course we all know about Mike Malone, and did not have any trust in the young guys that were drafted by the GM, which ultimately led to the GM and the coach both getting the heave-ho in Denver. But I am keeping an eye on. But you always got, JJ, you got to admit, you always got to worry about that a little bit when you have somebody that is having a substantially better year than what they've had before. In the case of Peyton Watson, he is getting more play time and more looks than he ever has before. Part of it could be because of Adelman going from Malone to Adelman, but I'm really happy for the kid. Wish it meant for more losses for Denver, but it isn't. They've been actually able to play well while Jokic is out, which is people need to keep note of that. I was hoping they would fall off the cliff and do what Houston and the Lakers were doing with them losing, but both won tonight. But yeah, I was really concerned if they were going to go ahead and be able to take a fall or not. But seeing them stay in the thick of things in the Western Conference without Jokic, a lot of that has to be attributed to the guys who've stepped up, and Murray. I know Gordon and Braun came back, but Peyton Watson gets a lot of credit as well. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of market he commands out there in free agency. Will be very interesting to see. Yeah, JJ, they've been 5-3 without Jokic, and a lot of credit has to go to Adelman, who's done a really good job out there. Hey, Jeremy, what's going on, man? What's going on? Great to have you here. Love everybody out there, whether you're from Australia, Europe, whether you're from South America, Canada, wherever you're at, the UK, Singapore, Philippines, wherever you're at. Just truly great to have you here. It's Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for joining us. It is, of course, the Lakers. They win 141-116. Want to hear you guys' thoughts tonight. We actually got a dominant performance from DeAndre Ayton, one of those players that we picked up on the relatively cheap with 17 points and 18 rebounds tonight. Looked like a really good rebounding force. Defensively, it was, as far as it is what it is, as far as protecting rim. But the 18 rebounds obviously helps a lot, and something that at times we have lacked. And as I mentioned, as far as gave you guys the numbers, as far as 26 overall in rebounding, that was definitely a problem. But really glad that the Lakers could go ahead and get the victory, and also focus in on trying to shore up some of the things, especially on the second day of a back-to-back, which I truly enjoyed watching indeed. JJ Redick, do you guys, just to let you guys know, commented LeBron James for playing in his first back-to-back of the season. He commended him. Redick said James took a hit to the quad in the fourth and is already receiving treatment, and he looks to be ready to play Thursday. His competitive stamina is off the charts, Redick said. So we'll see. Again, he did get hit. As you guys saw, that he got hit in the knee, hit in the quad area with the knee. So hopefully he will be able to get that taken care of and be able to play against Charlotte on Thursday. Yes, Kurt, David Adelman has done a great job. If you're able to stay above 500 and you don't have one of the best players on the planet, I don't know what to tell you. But Kurt, speaking of Jokic, because I was talking to someone the other day about some stuff as far as because somebody was suggesting Wenyan Gabriel to come back on the Lakers. I think that was Pinty. What's up, Pinty? Hope you actually watch this instead of just commenting uh, to me, at all times of the day on whatever mock trade you want. But he was commenting on Wenyan Gabriel coming back to Lakers because he had just been EuroLeague MVP. And I was remembering the time this summer when everybody, and I don't know if you remember this, Kurt, when people were starting to poo-poo on Nikola Jokic and saying he's starting to slide because he wasn't having the best of EuroLeague. So I just guy's got to be crazy. He is one of the best. He's the best player of this decade and still one of the best players on the planet. I don't know what you guys were talking about. Sure enough, until he got injured, he was certainly playing like it. But credit to Denver. They've actually been able to stay afloat in the Western Conference. JJ Redick says they're going to offer 28 to 35 million for him. Well, see, that's the thing I want to ask you guys then. Okay. We all talk about Austin Reeves. So if a guy like Peyton Watson in a not too robust free agent market, let's admit that, not too robust free agent market out there, if he is going to get something like 28 to $35 million offered for him, what does a guy like Austin Reeves, who has a little bit more of a, upgraded pedigree, because he's played a little bit better for a little bit longer than Peyton Watson has, what does he get out there on the open market? Because 28 to 35 million, when I was in the chat earlier on Discord with the guys, that seemed to be what they wanted to pay Austin Reeves. But I'm not going to say I think he deserves or this amount or this amount. I'm just saying if I'm his agent, because if I'm his agent, if I'm his Rich Paul, for lack of a better term, I'm asking for a lot. I'm asking for a max. You go in there walking. It's just like you're bidding for something. You go in there and you bid and you throw it out there. You want the highest bid you want for your client. And so if I'm going in there with the Lakers, 5 years, 240 is the max. If I'm Austin Reeves, that's what I'm asking for. Didn't say I would get it. Didn't say he deserves it. I'm just telling you what he might be going in and thinking when, as far as negotiating, if a guy like Peyton Watson, with this 1 year of substantial success behind him, is going to get around $30 million a year, what would a guy with years of substantial success and he coming off his best year statistically might get out there in free agent land? Not just throwing that out there, but I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Truly appreciate it. Kurt Affair says Laker Tom wanted to sign Watson in the offseason. Yes, absolutely, Kurt. Yeah, he did. That was one of his astute sayings. And then you go to Lakerholics.com. Great place to have, as far as you guys go, if you're a Lakers fan during the week, as far as the written product. And Laker Tom is very giving to a lot of guys. The double-digit salary for Marcus Smart, for instance. Not sure I would agree with that. Marcus Smart had a good game today, but you can see with Marcus Smart, it's an up and down ride. Do you like him where he's at salary-wise, $5 to $7 million, or do you think he should be paid a lot more? I want to hear your thoughts on that as well. But Tari Eason, having a Tari Eason, Peyton Watson front line to go along with the center of your choice, probably not Ayton, because this was a great game by Ayton today, but that was in a blowout. How is it when Ayton plays against the top teams so far? It hasn't looked all that great. So it's kind of mixed results on Ayton. I mean, he's getting your money's worth, giving you guys your money's worth at $9 million. But once you start talking a little bit bigger money, is it going to be the same kind of success? Kurt Affair says Austin's career earnings are $41 million. He's paid his dues and can make that. See, that's the thing, Kurt. That's what I want to bring it back to with Austin. Because with Austin, a lot of people have said, Pinty, for instance, I think he sent me a message like at 3 or 4 in the morning one time. He said, like, well, Austin said this. Austin may have said that he would sign for the Lakers for less. Whether it was this at this summer, I know because I know it was mentioned at some point in time, maybe at media day. But if you're his client now, if you're that he has only one real opportunity if you were in charge of his, a bank account, if you were charged of getting him his next contract, he has one chance, one opportunity to go ahead and really, really cash in for generational wealth. And if you guys were in that same position, the temptation to ask for as much as possible will be there. And I'll just leave it at that. Alan says, hell yes, Wenya Gabriel was solid for the amount of time he got to play. Okay. I wasn't wasn't the biggest Wenya Gabriel fan. It was a unfinished product, but he was sensational. Absolutely sensational in the Olympics. And I will give him a lot of credit for that. And obviously he's parlayed it into a successful career overseas as EuroLeague MVP. So I'm giving him a lot of credit there. It hasn't always been a finished product because he eventually bounced around the league before he decided to go and continue his career in Europe. But for now, I'm hoping that he'll get a chance to come back in the league and get that opportunity once again. But once again, it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. It is Gerald Glassford. John Costa hopefully will be back. It's the Lakers winning 141-116. Great to have you here. The next game is on Thursday against Charlotte. They recently won a game by 55 points over the tanking Utah Jazz. Thameless, that is a good question, Thameless. That's one of your best questions I have seen you thrown out there. Let me go ahead and throw this at you. John will be back hopefully here in a second. Maybe he's having a little bit more trouble editing his 3-minute report than what I thought. There he is. Well, if he turns on his camera, I'll be able to bring him back in here because he came back. Well, he still looks like he's doing stuff. So Thameless, this is a great question, guys. And hopefully you guys can see that on screen. Would you guys do AR for 40 million or John Morant, which is around 40 million, Gerald? Well, I'll say this. I know that last week when the rumors first started about John Morant, and they said about Memphis' willingness to part ways with John Morant. You take a look at the numbers. And again, I had a conversation with John Morant with Caleb Ponce earlier this week. It is right now on the channel NBA Observations. I hope you get a chance to look at it because it's really, really good conversation. We did speak a lot on John Morant, and Caleb had 4 different mock trades with John Morant involved. Hopefully you get a chance to listen to it. But John Morant, I know he's only 28 or 27, 28 in that range, but you can always see that athleticism that he once had is not always quite there like it used to be. He's not going in the lane as much as he used to be. He's not as fearless as he once was. He's relying on his jump shots. And we talked about how Dyson Daniels is at 11% 3-point shooting. John Morant's at 20. So lighting it up from outside, he is not. Still a good playmaker, still a good passer. But Austin Reeves, if you commit to Austin Reeves, and I want to ask John this question right here. So I'll let you look at this question, John, while I'm going ahead and finish it. If you commit to Austin Reeves and you commit to an Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic backcourt, you better have some hella defenders alongside both of them, because you have yourself an issue with having one of the worst defensive backcourts in the entire league. And that's what concerns me. I like AR. To put himself from an undrafted position to where this is now, where he can potentially make 40 million, 45 million, 50 million, what have you, is absolutely extraordinary. It's one of the biggest success stories ever in the NBA. Do not get me wrong. Remember, if you commit to that, you're committing to the goodness that they have as far as playmaking skills and offensive skills. They're not the greatest, both of them outside shooters. AR's, I believe, at 37, and Luka is Luka right now as far as from the outside. And they don't stop chucking it up. So that's an issue, but also the defense. The defense is the biggest thing. And I know you guys get upset about when you see Austin Reeves being a traffic cone or you see Luka Doncic being a traffic cone, and that's a problem. So I guess if you put a gun to my head, and please, John, don't do that, my friend, when I finally meet you in person. Um, or if it's a squirt gun, that's fine. You can do a squirt gun. I don't mind that. Thameless, I'm gonna say AR. I'm gonna say AR for one reason why, and that is marketability. Because AR at $40 million is probably more tradable, or you would get more pieces back with an AR at 40 million than John Morant right now. Because John Morant, we're gonna see the true test on John Morant and what the going rate for a John Morant is right now. We saw it for Trae Young, and it wasn't that great. One expiring contract and one contract that still has money left on the books. That's what you got for Trae Young if you are the Atlanta Hawks. What will Memphis get? I don't think Memphis is going to get a whole lot better. For AR, though, even if he signed for $40 million tomorrow, if he went out on the trading area right there, I think he would elicit more as far as out there, as far as from a standard of what you could get asset wise. But pairing him alongside Luka, great offensively, not so great defensively. And in a playoff setting, is that going to be a problem? You got to guys focus not just the regular season when you look at this. You have to look at it in a playoff setting. So, Thameless, I am going to lean AR, but do it with some trepidation. But I would definitely do it over John Morant at this point in time. I know you guys, some of you guys like Joe and some others, like early on when that news came out, like yeah, John Morant on the Lakers, we'll take him. Really?
No way.
Really?
No way.
This is not John Morant from 2 years ago, guys. This is John Morant of a different story right now. Maybe a change of scenery will improve his numbers, but I'm really kind of worried about what the future holds for John Morant. So the question is for you, John. And Thameless, like I said, this was an outstanding question. Would you take for 40 million? Because they both make around if they would both be making around 40 million. John Morant or Austin Reeves?
I'm taking Austin Reeves 10 times out of 10. Not only because I feel like Austin Reeves is the better player that would fit our team, but also because Austin Reeves is a much better off-ball player than John Morant is. And we already know that Luka Doncic is going to have the ball is going to be in Luka's hands. And if it's not going to be in Luka's hands, it's going to be in LeBron's hands. John Morant is, I'm not going to say he's terrible off the ball, but he's not nearly as good as Austin Reeves off the ball. And also a player like John Morant, he's a very he's got a lot going on off the court, and that's totally fine. It is what it is. Like, I'm not judging you. You do your thing, brother. But being in LA, like, you're gonna have the microscope on you, like 10x. So everything.
No more live videos, please, John. No more live videos.
Come on, man. Yeah, right. Like, no more live, right? So I say all that to say that. But Gerald, just wanted to real quick say a couple things about the game, and also we'll just make a mental note around all the everybody.
No update yet on
I am Hema. Hey, I'm telling you, Gerald. That's why and excuse my profanity, but that's why I can't respect these little bitches. They talk, they do all this talking, they're keyboard warriors. They do all this talking, right? When shit goes south, but when shit is right, when the man nearly has a triple double, they're nowhere to fucking be found. They're hiding in their mom and dad's little basement. So
Black, you're letting me down, my friend, because you've been hearing wins before when John wasn't here. So come on, man.
Bro, no. And Gerald, next time that this little faggot is here, I'm sorry for my language. Sorry, that was crazy. But next time that he's here, we're on him. We're on him because I can't. That shit pisses me off, Gerald. Sorry for my language, but that shit pisses me off. He pisses me off. Like, bro, at least be a man. Like, show up irregardless, bro. Like, show up irregardless and show up on the wins and the loss. Because they talk about LeBron like LeBron killed their mom or something. They literally hate on anything he do. Oh, it's the faults. It's this. It's that. How about you? Stop being a pussy.
Well, Still was right. I was wrong. He did play the first time this season on a back-to-back, and however old LeBron looked today, he looked really good, spry, both him and Luka were active on the defensive end in that first half. Anyways, the second half, Luka kind of, I'm good. Lakers are
Hey,
up.
brother, I'm not mad. No,
But no,
I'm
I just want to know your thoughts on LeBron, because LeBron today, what happened between yesterday and today? And remember, they were questionable all throughout the day, and it was a touch and go scene for Luka and LeBron. But today, again, Luka a little bit more reserved. Kind of liked it better what I saw from Luka today, where he didn't feel like he had to do all the scoring. He distributed a lot more. And LeBron absolutely looked like a man who had some zip in his step today. Funny how that was on the second day of a back-to-back.
100%. And honestly, I think we were all kind of like taken back at the fact that LeBron played on the second night of a back to back. But I'd love to see it, because, and especially from the entire team, to be real with you, because now, Gerald, they can't sit here and say like, oh, it was second night of a back to back, because we've seen what we can do on second night of a back to back. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to expect us to shoot 60% from the 3-point line and a half and have an 81 point half every second night of a back to back, but I do think that like we gotta at least hold these guys to this type of just effort that they showed tonight. The effort is amazing. And yes, Xbox, that's what you heard.
Yes.
And no, brother, I'm not Steven, I think, or Stefan. I don't know if
It was.
no, yeah, no, forget that. But Stefan or Steven, I'm not mad at anybody, brother.
He was quoting a Dire Straits song. Let's just say that. Yes,
I'm just annoyed at these. I'm annoyed at. I'll use a better word. I'm annoyed at these little bitches, these little cowards. Okay,
so much better.
That just won't show up when LeBron plays well, and they have nothing to say. But the second you do something wrong, they up in the chat. I call them keyboard warriors. You know what I'm saying? I call them the casual keyboard warriors. And that's the black guy, Black 77 or Block, whatever the fuck his name is. And then the I am Hema. Two little bitches right there.
Black, you're letting me down, my friend. If you're watching this after the fact,
and I can't wait to see him again. When I'm
I
on here.
I stood up for you yesterday. I stood up for you, man.
And Gerald, you know what, Gerald? I need to talk to you about that, Gerald. Stop standing with these trolls.
Well, no, because you said he's never here. Your exact quote was he was never here in wins. And I said he was actually here in a win during your absence, was my exact quote. So technically that was me defending him. So,
okay.
But other than that, he is on his own with you. And I'll leave it.
But see, but see, Stefan or Steven, whatever, bro. You saying you a LeBron hater, but if you're saying you can give him the explanation, if you're saying you can give him the praise and honor when he has a good game, then you're not a really LeBron hater like me. I'll give you all the facts all day long and stats and everything to tell you why LeBron James is the greatest player of all time and why I think overall, from beginning to end of career, why he will go down as the greatest player of all time. Now, that does mean he can't fuck up. And all the times that he do fuck up, you got to get on him for. And that's what I do. And the problem is there's people like Black and I Am Hema who don't do that, right? They are just like, everything he does sucks. Everything he does is stat padding. Everything he does is this. And then there's people who's just like, oh no, LeBron James, the all glorious king, which, bro, no, both are wrong. You know what I'm saying? You got to be in the middle with it. And that's where I'm at. But Black and I Am Hema is not like that.
I did want to say, Thameless, Mitchell Robinson, I really liked him when he was coming out. I thought for the draft, I really wanted the Lakers to get him in the second round, and they didn't. He has played well with New York when he's been out there. Remember, there are some real health concerns with Mitchell Robinson, but you see when he's on the court how he impacts the game as a defensive presence inside that would be better than DeAndre Ayton, and an offensive rebounder. There's probably 3 or 4 maybe in the NBA as elite as he is as an offensive rebounder. But he has flaws. He has zero offensive game outside of going ahead and throwing a lob to him every now and then for a dunk or a putback for a dunk on an offensive rebound. And he is terrible from the free throw line. So it's kind of a touch and go thing. But if you have the right players around him, if you have a bunch of shooters around him and defenders around him, and he is your anchor on the defense, you can make that work. you can make that if you don't rely on him for scoring and you just rely on him for 5 or 6 offensive rebounds a game, 10 to 11 rebounds a game, and a defensive presence inside because he's got a big body that moves around there. Yeah, I could see him going, but I think that because he's also a free agent this year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he may go for more than or $20 million or more, and that to me is a little steep for a guy with so many obvious flaws, so many obviously great things, but so many obvious flaws in Mitchell Robinson. What do you feel about Mitchell Robinson as a potential target
Can't.
for the Lakers?
Although be it he would help clean up the glass a lot more and help, our paint protection. Can never go for a player that's going to get played off the court come playoffs. Like he is going to get played off the court, and it's an
You
inevitable
think
fact.
that, John, but you saw throughout the playoff stretch, he was a major part. It because they put a perfect counterpiece to that. Stefan, you say you'd love to see him on a team with Ayton. I say no because they have similar games. But if you put him alongside a stretch 5 or a stretch 4 or 5 like Karl Anthony Towns, John, that's what kept him out there in the playoff run last season.
But we don't have that. We don't have a Karl Anthony Towns to put him next to. That's the problem. That is the problem. Absolutely. But we just don't have that. So bringing him in would just be now bringing a player that's going to get played off the court because he can't shoot free throws.
Triple J, Nick T. Okay, I give you that. Triple J has a kind of game because he's a terrible rebounder. For a guy that's 7 foot tall, immense gifts, 5 rebounds a game is absolutely just terrible because I was bringing it up as far as him being one of the most disappointing players for what talent he has out there. We saw him against the Lakers. He was just destroying Ayton, but for some reason, he just doesn't play with any focus, gets in foul trouble a lot. But if he has a Mitchell Robinson by his side, or like you see now with Zach Edey, if you see when Zach Edey's healthy and out there, he stays out there and he plays a little bit better. What do you think about Rich Paul's comments about Triple J being traded for Austin Reeves if Rich Paul was the GM? Oh, by the way, Triple J is his representation is with Clutch.
Honestly, I just think that was such a dumb thing for Rich to say, to be honest with you. But also at the same time, I feel like we got to stop giving this guy fucking light. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are we even giving a fuck about what Rich Paul and Max are talking about on their podcast, right? Like, I feel like what authority does Rich Paul's voice carry? I mean, I would feel like none, to be honest with you. He's just like everybody else that has an asshole. He has an opinion. I feel at this point, especially if Rich is going to be, but I do think it was just like not thinking about Austin Reeves making a comment like that, midway through the season.
Okay.
What about you? How do you feel about it, Gerald?
Well, I talked about it before you came on, and I just think it's Rich Paul. Just stop, please.
Just
First of all, okay, your math is not even close. Right now, Triple J is in the last year of his original contract, which is $35 million. Then it shoots up to $50 million for his extension. He's not even playing at a $35 million level, which is inexcusable for a guy with his immense talents. But if they were even, I would probably take Triple J just because of his immense talents. But they're not being paid the same. Austin Reeves is being paid $13 million right now or thereabouts. Triple J is being paid 35. So you couldn't do it anyway. So I don't know why you speak that in existence. It just makes you look like you're dumb. And Rich Paul, however much we, crap that we throw at him, Joe throws at him, anybody throws at him. First of all, he's got Adele. So,
So
got into that. Yeah, it got Adele, all of Adele's, residuals there coming through that way. Second of all, he's made himself into someone that has, financial wealth of his own and success of his own. And so obviously he is, in actuality, a smart individual, a really smart individual to have gotten himself that far. But to say these things, like to speak in existence like that, it really is troublesome. It upsets the balance of what did Austin Reeves piss in his soup or something? Because it just, it just, why? I understand Triple J is your client, but why? Why is the need to say you just can't do it anyways? You would have to trade two more players alongside Austin Reeves before you can get to the money for Triple J. So it makes no sense, John, unless you know something that we don't, and the Lakers are going to sign him to 35, 45, or $50 million this summer.
Come on, man. Let's petition to make Rich shut the fuck up.
Believe me, that's all I've heard, and that's all I've read in the comments about ever since that happened. And it just, you pick and choose your spots when you're saying these things, and since you comes from Rich Paul should understand by now. You should be savvy enough to understand that when it comes from an individual like that who's responsible and represents the individuals that he does, to understand when he says something like that, it's going to go viral. It's going to take note, and it's going to be out there. So again, there was just no purpose for it, no need for it, and I could see Max Kellerman probably just squirming in his chair, but maybe Max Kellerman, because he's a guest, you have to go, oh, that's a good idea. That's right, Rich. Yeah, there you go. Whatever. I haven't listened to it. I've just, I don't want to listen to it at this point. But yeah, it's just concerning when that's it. It's only like, why do you need to go ahead and put that out there? It's already bad enough you're talking to LeBron with, in the fourth quarter of games on the sideline before a play gets set up, what we talked about a couple weeks ago. It's annoying. It's part of this noise that LeBron has. What we talked about. Well, I've told you, I stopped defending LeBron. One of the greatest players of all time. No question about it. But it's all this noise. It's noise. It's like when after I drank that third third shot of vodka that they, that Intel Wild had, I got like this fuzz, this interference around the top of my head. It was like surrounded by, and it kind of made me a little bit disoriented when I got up after the show, about 10 minutes. I'll be honest with everybody, because I hadn't drank in decades. So
wait, you took a drink, Gerald?
I took, well, yeah. Intel offered me 100 for first one, 150 for the second one. He tried to put in 250 for the third one as I was drinking, but YouTube blocked it. I don't know why.
He threw you bread.
Yeah, what? I'm not stupid, man. I'm not gonna do it for just chump change. But
Intel's a real one.
Yeah, but anyways, that third one, you start feeling it. I started feeling it, and that's the thing. When he talks like that, it's just like it's that noise. It's the noise when it comes to LeBron. All this other stuff when it comes to LeBron, it's just that's the part I wish, the legacy that I'd like to see left out, but it's there. But it's not like nights like tonight where he came to play, John, in the second game of back-to-back. That's what impresses me at 41 years old. It's these type of games when you have LeBron and everything that you say about LeBron, everything that you defend about LeBron comes to fruition when he has games like this. Last night looked like what tonight should have been. Tonight should have been what last night looked like. It's just weird that it came in that order, my friend.
Kurt is hella funny. I remember that too. Remember when I was trying to open that wine with the knife? That's hella funny, Kurt. I remember that. I need to now that I'm in the house here, one time crack a drink here with you guys. I just
gotta get a cork, man.
I just can't. Fuck yeah. I don't know. There's just no drink that tastes good to me. That shit just burns my throat. I don't know.
I just don't like the taste of alcohol. So that's
it just isn't like, I don't know. It also makes me feel like I need to go to the bathroom and take a dump, to be real with you. I don't know why. I'd be so needing to take a dump and I taste alcohol.
So the Lakers right now, 24-14. They're fifth place still in the Western Conference. Again, this is about where we thought they would be at, John. I don't know. I think you had like fourth, fifth, or sixth in the Western Conference.
I had them at the fourth seed at best.
I had them fifth. Yeah, so they're right around where you both and you and I targeted them at. But I just think because the hot start got everybody's emotions running high about this team, that they want this team to do better than what I think that Rob had projected and what we had projected them out to be. So what changes would you make? Because it's clear this team has flaws. Before you came on, I read some of the statistics, and they rank in the bottom of the league in several statistics relating to shooting and defending the three. Not tonight. Tonight was actually a good night for that. But shooting and defending the three, total rebounding, defensive rating, and the worst in the league. However bad last year was with the bench, and you asked me last night how good this bench was, and I said it was a little bit better because of LaRavia and Smart, but if they're not on the bench and they're starting, takes away that problem. The Lakers are 30th, dead last in bench points right now. So a lot of issues have to be dealt with before I think you and I are comfortable with making this team a contender this season.
Yeah, a lot of issues have to be dealt with, and unfortunately, Jared, like I don't think that they will be dealt with this season. I think this is more like Joe and all of us. We've all kind of had the stay regimen of like this is going to be more of an off season type thing. Like this is when this is going to get fixed because to be real with you, we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place this season. We can make some, some little lateral moves, whether it be in the buyout market or even whether it be with some trade. But unless there's a superstar that's just like, I want to go to LA and LA only, I don't think that there's anything that we can do to get this team as a championship team this season. Now, with that being said, what I will say is that I think in the offseason that there's a lot that can be done to get us there. But just this season right now, if playoffs started right now, I'll be honest, Gerald, we are not going to win a championship, and we would not, I feel comfortable saying we would not be Denver in a 7-game series. We would not be OKC in a 7-game series. And call me crazy, but I've been watching a lot of Spurs, and we would not beat the Spurs in the 7-game series as well, right? So that's what I believe. But every other team in the league, I feel confident that we would beat. And also, on top of that, I don't think it'd be an easy series for any of those three teams that I mentioned: the Spurs, the Nuggets, and OKC, because the Lakers have Luka Doncic and LeBron James, and playoff basketball is played totally different than regular season basketball. The game slows down, becomes more about owning and dominating your matchups and playing more of a half court game. That sounds like LeBron James and at this age of 41 and Luka Doncic. Half court game. Let me slow it down. Let me play chess while you're playing checkers. That's what LeBron and Luka love to do. And I just wanted to say that, like, look, there's nothing we can do this season to become contenders, in my opinion. But there's a lot we can do this off season. But this season, we are going to be a tough playoff out, irregardless of who we play. Not contenders, though,
I forgot about the T-Wolves. Yeah.
Oh,
T-Wolves have been on a run. They're actually one of the hottest teams in the Western Conference right now, John.
That is great. I like that, but I still feel comfortable putting us over the T-Wolves, especially in seeding wise. I feel like we could finish there as that 4th seed.
Jeremy says, I really don't like our bench. In all honesty, it's too big of a flaw. If Luka has to sit at the moment, we are in big trouble. Well, yeah. I mean, Jeremy is right there. I said earlier today to start the show, the Lakers coming into the game were 30th in the league in bench points, which tells you all you need to know about when somebody comes off that bench. They're just not producing. And it's not, again, Vando, I know that's a sore spot for everyone, but Joe has been very critical of Vando. I've been very critical of Vando. You don't rely on him for offense. So you rely on him to go ahead and stop the ball. And for the most part, he's been doing an okay job of that. Tonight, he had some stuff going on. But again, they didn't really need a humongous effort from Vando tonight. But offensively, you should not be counting on him because he just can't give you what he needs to give you. Dalton Connect is a guy that I think a lot of people have pointed the finger at because they want him to get more minutes. They want him to get more touches. But this season, whenever he's got more minutes, he's got more touches. People want more touches and more minutes because he is not making the most of that opportunity. So I don't know at what point you guys and I are just going to get off that Connect train because it's just a hard watch at this point in time. LaRavia, I don't know if you want to start him at this point. I mean, Rui was coming off the bench tonight. Rui did not look like the most thrilled individual on the planet because he was coming off the bench tonight, scored only 7 points. But I think Rui in a contract year is not playing like Rui should be playing in a contract year. We talked about Peyton Watson earlier for Denver, who is playing like it's a contract year for him because it is a contract year for him. And we see on one end where somebody is taking their game to another level they haven't before. And in Rui's case, it seems to be in reverse, John.
Man, I mean,
his defense is also really bad. Really, really bad this season, Rui's is.
Rui's defense?
Yeah.
I mean, Rui's tough, man, because I feel like, if we package him, he could probably be one of the higher value players that we can get a trade in return for. But there's nights where Rui's just knocked down from that mid range. I'm not gonna lie to you, Gerald. He is just not missing, cutting the baseline very well, doing a lot of role player. The little shit. To be honest with you, but my only thing is that he's our biggest trade piece. So I think he has to go. Like,
well, Serge says that too, but that trade piece is diminishing by the game.
Quickly. That trade piece is diminishing quickly, which is why we gotta try to get rid of him as soon as possible. I think he's our biggest trade piece if we don't want to get rid of Austin Reeves, which I don't think we want to get rid of Austin Reeves because do we?
I am on the fence on that.
Man, Gerald, I just feel like, listen, look, this is how I feel about Austin Reeves. Getting rid of Austin Reeves, his trade value is not actually what his value is for us.
And that's the problem. That $13 million, which is great for the Lakers' bankroll right now, is bad for the trade value. And I get that. I completely understand it. But again, it goes back to the value. If you have to sign him, and you sign him to a 5-year contract, you're committing to one of the worst backcourts in all of the NBA because he's not going to come off the bench like we want him to, and maybe where most people, a lot of people think that he might be best at. He's going to start for being paid. If he's being paid $40 to $50 million a year, he's going to be starting for the Los Angeles Lakers, and you have a lot of issues with that.
Defensively, absolutely, you do. But
they'll be giving themselves high fives and they do that bro thing that they love each other. And meanwhile, the guys their opponents just dribbling right through them for an easy basket.
Now, I hear you. I think you can shout out Daniel Berry, real one.
DBSH, yo.
But I think you can still build a team around that, though, Gerald. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, it makes it tough.
They're great offensively. I will not tell you differently on that. They're absolutely great offensively, John.
100%. But it's the defense, and I understand that part as well. I'm just saying, look, man, my problem with letting go of Austin Reeves is exactly what we said. It's just like the trade value isn't actually there. Like, this man put up a 50 burger earlier in the season. Let's try to be fair and trade for other players that's put up 50 burgers. His trade value, if we actually traded him, none of these players are even close to touching the 50 burger what we would get in return for Austin Reeves.
I'll just say this again when it comes to, because I'm not trying to hate on Austin Reeves, I'm not trying to hate on Luka, but if you get that backcourt, guys, then you have to be patient with them because we'll be hearing throughout the season, John. If we have that backcourt for 5 years, all we'll be hearing is how bad that defense is at times because gets bad. It gets ugly. Let's not beat around the bush with those two guys. Those two guys, Austin Reeves' best performance defensively was against Jamal Murray in that first round against Denver. But the problem is he spent so much effort on the defensive end trying to slow down Murray, which he did statistically. Just take a look at the statistics. Although he did hit those 2 winning shots, he was just so bad offensively, and that's the problem. He can only, because of his God-given talents, can only give you so much on one side of the ball, and he's gone all in. He's gone to the dark side, John. He's gone all in on the offensive side as a playmaker, as a guy who wants to shoot the ball and score the ball. Someone who's looking to get paid, I cannot blame him at all. But the defense has suffered, and I'm just worried if you commit to 4 or 5 years of that with those two guys as your backcourt, it's a hard sell during the course of the season when those guys might be giving up a lot of points.
No, 100%. And I agree with that, Gerald. I just all I'm saying, and I know you understand my point as well. All I'm saying is just I just feel like we're getting rid of Austin Reeves. We're not getting equal or
No,
positive.
and no, you can't, because just by sheer contract.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're not getting equal or positive return.
But then you let him walk for nothing?
No, but he doesn't walk for nothing though. We sign him for again. I know it's extensive. I know we have a weak backcourt, but then you build your team around.
So
Again,
you want to commit to $40 to $50 million for him for a year?
Not the 2020 roster, because the 2020 roster. No, well, I guess not completely like the 2020
He's
roster.
asking for $40 million, $45 million a year when he goes out on that marketplace.
I understand, Gerald. I understand that, but again, we either lose him for nothing, or we trade him and get a less value,
or sign, or you could do is hope that whoever, if somebody signs him for a contract, that they could do a sign and trade to get another year for him, because that's how they can get around it, is that the Lakers would do a sign and trade if he commits to another team in free agency. But it's the quandary that you're in. Again, I'm not a hard sell no, and I'm not a hard sell yes on Austin.
100%. I'm right there with you.
He is one of the greatest stories about Lakers development ever in the history of this team, bar none.
Right there with you, Gerald.
Again, but they have flaws, and they have flaws together, and we've seen that this year. And I know that Stefan says, the chemistry, obviously, because they have the bro thing that him and those two have with each other. It's great to see, and their chemistry with each other at times before LeBron came back was really good. Now, when LeBron came back, it obviously someone took a step back, and it looked like it was Austin taking a step back when LeBron came back. So they got to figure that thing out when Austin comes back. But it's just okay. And you won't have LeBron next year, or you may have LeBron next year, but you won't have LeBron at $52.6 million a year. You won't have three mostly weak defenders, because LeBron doesn't always turn it up on the defensive end as well during the course of the year. But it is a concern I have. It is a concern on what you commit to, if you commit to Austin at the number he may be looking at, John. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And again, I hear you, and I feel like we got to build the team. And like what I was saying was, like, we got to build a team that can combat that. So we're not only we play.
Then you're putting your faith in Rob Pelinka, and
right. But Gerald, listen, I hear you though, Gerald. But this is where we are though. Like, it's an unfortunate situation. I like what Serge said. Sucks, but it is what it is. Like, this is the unfortunate situation that we're in. We have to try to build a team around them to where, look, if our perimeter defenders get smoked, we got athletic wings and we got bigs holding it down inside. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be an easy route, Gerald. I'm not saying this is plausible, a very plausible route. But what I'm telling you is, I don't feel good about either A, of course, letting go of Austin Reeves for nothing, letting him walk for nothing, and B, letting him go for and getting in return something of lesser of value. I just, that's it. That's all I'm saying.
Stefan's getting mad at me, and I'm sorry. I'm just telling you guys real. It's and at AR again. If Peyton Watson, who's had one good year this year, is going to be signed for $30 million, which may very well may happen because of his talents and what he can bring, size, shooting, and defense. He's played really good this year. What do you think a guy like AR, who has more than 1 year, is going to be asking for? You think he's just going to ask for $5 million more? You think so?
Now, I know, Joe. I know he
5 years, 240 with the Lakers, John.
I hear you.
5 years, 240 is what he can ask. As far as he may not ask for it all. He may do what he said he did. He may ask for a discount, but that's what, 5 years, 200, 5 years, 220.
I hear you.
That's a lot of money to commit to a guy. And again, you have to look at okay, so if you sign those two and that's your backcourt for the next 5 years, do you trust Rob Pelinka to go ahead and build the team around him? Because if that's the case, I'll quote you the George Clooney movie that he did once. Good night and good luck on that one. But when it comes to what if that's the case, if the Lakers don't finish in a spot that they need to finish, if they don't have a promising ending to this season, maybe Joe's Soro's words will come to fruition, like what we were talking about last night with Mike Tomlin and him leaving. And sure enough, he left today. So maybe Rob Pelinka would be let go because I don't think he can build around this team. I've seen his talent evaluation this decade, and it's not been good. It's not been good, John. People wonder. There was a comment earlier on this chat about what happened with the roster construction since 2020. Rob Pelinka, that's your answer.
Yeah, literally Rob Pelinka. That's one way to sum it up.
Yeah. But a great game tonight by the Lakers. Again, it's really a great conversation you guys are having out there. Truly appreciate great questions by Thane. Great precious, comments by Stefan, Jeremy, Xbox, Search, and Destroy. You guys are great out there. The Lakers do win 141-116. The Lakers are 24-14. Fifth place in the Western Conference. Please make sure you like and subscribe to Lakers Corner along with Lakers Fast Break right here. Check out John's 3-minute report. He gives you the skinny, as they used to say way back when. I know I'm dating myself when I say that, but gives you the skinny on what they talk about as far as what went on in the game. Truly appreciate you. Go ahead and check him out on that. But before we head on out, my friend, again, the Lakers are headed up to, as far as playing at the Crypt on Thursday against Charlotte. And that'll be an interesting game indeed to see if you'll get the Charlotte team that loses more than most of its games, or the team that walked into Utah and won by 55 on Saturday. So it'll be interesting to see which team you get, because they have one of the leading rookie contenders in Com Knipple. LaMelo Ball is not quite the LaMelo Ball. I think he's one of the more disappointing players, but with this mix, but they do have Miller there. And they do have Bridges there. So they've got an interesting starting lineup they throw out at people. What are your thoughts on Charlotte before we head on out?
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm more worried about how the Lakers are going to come for this game, because the Lakers have a tendency of playing down to their opponent or playing up to their opponent, to be honest with you. So as long as the Lakers come ready, I mean, look no further than just yesterday, Jared, less than 24 hours ago, what we did with the Kings. We didn't come ready. We didn't come mentally prepared. We thought, oh hell, this is just the Kings. Like, it's all good, man. That's what happened to us. And I hope that we don't have that same attitude with the Hornets. But as far as, but besides that, if you want to, check out my channel, please do check out. And if you go deep enough, you'll see that I've been saying that LaMelo Ball is overrated. Here it is, you guys. You want me to tell you? LaMelo Ball, Trae Young, John Morant, you can put all those guys in the same group. These are good players that can have great moments. They can have great moments, but these guys are not real, true born winners that you can build your team around. And all those three guys I just mentioned were their team were trying to build around them. It's not going to work, brother. Yeah, Kevin Durant said it himself. Not as much for LaMelo Ball because he's 6'7", but
I was going to tell you that.
Not as much for LaMelo Ball because he's 6'7", but small guards are just they're just going out of style, brother. Like, they're going out. You got to be 6'5" and you got to be able to handle the rock, and that's got to be your shortest player. So that's that. But LaMelo Ball, he's just the reason why I say he's overrated is because he's a very I'm not even going to say nonchalant, but he's a very inefficient player. He's a black hole. For a LaMelo Ball to have an effect on the game, he needs a rock in his hands. He can't have an effect on the game off ball. You don't want a player like that, man. But I veered off track. Anyway.
No, you're actually right on that when it comes to, but it's a little different now, John. He can't shoot like both Stefan and you are alluding to with him. And you did say 6'7". By the way, it's an internet meme, and slang term that emerged last year on TikTok and Instagram Reels and later spread to YouTube Shorts. It has no fixed meaning. It's just by the kids of actually younger than John's generation
Yeah,
that started it.
a
As
lot.
far
Yeah,
as they just say 6'7" just to say 6'7". Whenever they hear that 6'7", they go ah, 6'7", 6'7". That's basically what it is, Stefan. It's just I think it's just in order to piss us older people off. That's all it does at this point is what's going on with it. So, but I will just say this with LaMelo, Charlotte is actually slowly building something there, and they're maybe leaning off of an ending with LaMelo Ball, but he no longer has to go ahead and chuck up 3-pointers with 22 seconds left on the shot clock. He no longer has to go ahead and feel like he did it himself because there was that first couple of years he got them to the play-in or playoffs.
the
Got
plane,
them to the
and then they got
play-in.
smacked twice.
Yeah, I remember one watching one from a cafe, and it was I think got smacked, but it never ever since then it's been injured, inefficient, all for him, whatnot. But they now have pieces there in Brandon Miller, and especially if you guys get a chance to watch the game, please watch Comp Knipple. He is second right now. If you were to stop it today on Rookie of the Year voting, he has played with consistency. I don't think I'm not sure if he still leads the rookies in scoring. I think maybe Cooper might have passed him up, but he's close to 20 points a game in scoring. He has played really well, but it's an all-around game. He was just thought to come in and pretty much essentially a shooter when he got drafted, but he has developed a game that's much more than that. So they're not as so adept or not as so adamant about keeping LaMelo for the long term about what they're building at Charlotte. So maybe want to keep your eye on LaMelo Ball at the trade deadline simply because, like you said, John, he's 6'7".
He is. He is. I don't want LaMelo Ball though. But yeah, that's where we're at.
Yep. I binged it, but I did that's the Wikipedia explanation there, Stefan, for 6'7". It's just a meme. It has no real defined thing. It's just something pretty much to piss us older generations off. So there you go. I mean, we were probably doing it something that pissed the older generations off as kids, anyways. Probably the same thing. Probably the music I was listening to when I was a kid, playing the arcade games I was playing and the video games, and they couldn't understand it. So yeah, again, it's each and every generation does its best to try to piss off the generation that came before. That's just the way it is. But again, John, great to have you here. What you working on with Lakers Corner before we hit it on?
Check me out, guys. Lakers Corner. I do 3-minute game recaps. I do a weekly show. Just I'll talk all about Lakers news. So if you guys want some more great Lakers coverage besides what Gerald is bringing you guys here, please do check out Lakers Corner, and please do always subscribe to Lakers Fast Break, because Gerald is literally a one and only, guys. Like Gerald, I tell you this all the time, man. You deserve it all. You deserve a lot of like praise, and like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys like Johan or Jovan, whatever the fuck his name, I don't really give a fuck what his name is. All those other guys, they take days off. Gerald, you don't. You're always working and eat shit. Even me sometimes. I gotta go handle something with my daughter. I gotta go do something. But Gerald, you be here, and that needs to get applauded.
I appreciate it, my friend. It's so funny because earlier today, Joe was so giddy about the Mike Tomlin resigning that he wanted to do a show. And I was actually outside trying to get some weeds taken out of my backyard. Should I go on Joe's channel or should I go ahead and take out some weeds out of the front lawn? All right, I'll go on Joe's channel. It took a minute, but I'll go on Joe's channel. So I was there.
Hey, shout out to Alan. Alan is dropping my Instagram, my TikTok, and my Twitter. Real one. I appreciate you, Alan.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
check him
Anything,
out
just
there as
type in
well.
Lakers Corner 24 and he's got you covered right there on social media. Again, Lakers Corner, great place to go. He does long form entertainment, he does a lot of short form entertainment. Please support John. It is truly appreciated. And it also support me as well if you can. Again, I really highly recommend if you just want a general NBA conversation. I put out at least one a week. It's the NBA Observation Show. Please check it out because we cover Caleb and I. We covered a whole bunch of stuff as far as on the NBA. It actually dropped earlier today. Talked about Ja Morant. We talked about the most disappointing players in the league. We talked about the All-Star game. Talked about expansion. It was a great hour-long conversation. So if you want something that's not filled with Joe cursing all the time, it does give you stuff on the NBA. Go ahead and check it out. I will drop it on the channel for audio listeners tonight for your drive in, along with this show as well. Well, my friend, it's been great having you here. But any last thoughts before we head on out? Great win by the Lakers. It's so nice when we get an easy victory once in a while.
Great win. Love it. Love the fact that I'm here. And of course, Black and I am Hema's pussy ass is not here. But we knew this, Gerald. We knew this. All I ask is that we keep everybody in this chat and you, Gerald, we all keep the same energy. So when we see these two little pussies next time, we let them know, hey, man, where were you? Where were you? Where were you when LeBron had damn near had a triple-double? Where were you when LeBron showed out? Yo, you ain't nothing to say then? Oh, okay. Anyway.
Yep. Like Tough said, I turned Joe's show on and there you are. Well, he asked. And so I said, you know what? Okay, I can pull weeds tomorrow, whatnot. But Alan, to let you know, yes, I would like to go ahead and get a press pass. I do have the access to do so, but it's based on subscribers. I've already been told it's based on the number of subscribers, and John knows that. If you know, I used to for the Pop Culture Cosmos, I used to ask for a whole bunch of review products, and I used to get a whole bunch of like headphones, video game controllers, a whole bunch, video games themselves and whatnot. But once my number of radio stations started to go down and the number of subscribers wasn't rising as high as they like, stop getting the stuff. And the same thing, the first thing that they ask you with the NBA, how many subscribers do you have? So I've been told that maybe I shouldn't start asking until around 10,000. So I'm hoping one day to reach that, but I'm only a quarter of the way there, guys. So you guys got to help me out. If you aren't subscribed already, I know it's the YouTube stuff that you guys go ahead, you get it still on your algorithms, but it really does help out because when you start subscribing, you start liking, I think it just clues in YouTube, like with John stuff. If you start liking, you start subscribing, it clues into other people that check out Lakers content or other people that check out NBA content to show up on their algorithms. It's not about it stops becoming, John, about your algorithms because I am there and you are there on the algorithms, whenever you post something now, because if they see us on a regular basis, it's just going to be there. It's about if you like and subscribe for that other person who is not checking us out. And that's what I think that makes us more available is when they like and subscribe. So when you hear all these channels say like and subscribe, blah, 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 I think that's what happens. It's the fact that when you like and subscribe, it alerts Google to start showing your product out to a wider audience, if that makes sense.
Yep. So subscribe to Lakers Fast Break and Lakers Corner and get a great night of sleep.
Absolutely. You guys go ahead. Make sure you get some rest. Truly appreciate you joining us. Once again, it is the Lakers 141 to 150, 116. Lakers win by 25. They're now 24-14. They are in fifth place still in the Western Conference, but got a chance to look at some Lakers that we normally don't see. And it's kind of interesting to see. Kobe Buffkin, 10-day contract. He's bounced around the league. He was a washout as a first-round draft pick with the Hawks. He's been killing it in the G League. John, get a chance to see a little bit of Kobe Buffkin tonight? Hit a three. Relative ease.
Good for him. Probably felt great to hit a three against the Hawks.
Well, it's just interesting because, which of these guys that another team gave up on, like Nick Smith Jr., Charlotte gave up on him. When it comes to Jake LaRavia, Memphis gave up on him. There are players like SPJ. The Lakers gave up. Jay Huff. The Lakers gave up on them. It's interesting when a team gives up on you. Is it the player or is it the team? So we'll see with Kobe Buff getting on a 10-day contract to see if he can make an imprint. Sometimes they get those guys on 10 days because they just have so many injuries that they need guys to run for practice, just as practice guys. So they bring him in there on 10 days. But I'm hoping Kobe gets a chance to make an impression and a good one with the team at that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, shout out to Kobe Buffkin. I mean, usually 10-day guys get two 10 days and then they get cut. But Joe said Kobe Buffkin. That's funny. Anyway, yeah, prep 2026 goal, press pass for Gerald, press pass for Lakers fast break, Lakers corner. Let's get it all. And Joe, I know you're not here, bro, but I mentioned it to Gerald. Of course, that little pussy Black and I Am Hemla are not here. They're scared to show up, Joe. It's like how we know these guys are bitches, man. They keyboard warriors.
We should have money for it, JJ. So we'll see if Watson will become a Laker in the offseason. Stefan, I know you're a big supporter of Rob Pelinka. Obviously, getting AR. Now, AR, whether or not you believe the rumors, and AR guided himself to not be drafted in the second round the year he came out and with his representatives wanted to guide him towards the place that he wanted to be picked up at that time. Believe that if you want. Don't believe that if you want. That's the story that's going around with him. The organization, including Rob, obviously signing him, but the development team should get a lot of credit for helping him become the player that he is today. Nick Smith Jr., I mean, he's played well at times, but this is who he was. Remember, he averaged last year almost 10 points a game for Charlotte. So why would they let go of a guy that comes off the bench and scores almost 10 points a game? Well, the defensive side. That's why he can't get regular minutes with the Lakers, is because the defensive side is, and he's a little smaller. He's what, 6'2", 6'3"?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard deal. So Smith Jr., I think I can't give credit on, but Caruso, I mean, yeah, the undrafted, he was also a great success story for the Lakers because remember he was bouncing around the G League when he got picked up by the Lakers, and they didn't put him in a position where he became a champion with the Lakers. But I also give Rob, if you want to give Rob for credit for helping put him on a development plan, you also got to give Rob the credit for when he let him go for THT. Cannot forget that.
Yeah, that's a name right there, man.
You cannot forget the legend of THT and what we paid as a price for that. Caruso may still be on this team today had Rob chosen him over THT.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
We got JJ Redick in here, man. On my dick. Shut up, JJ Redick. I'll serve you.
All right. But we're going to head on out. But once again, Stefan, let me know when you want me to come on your podcast, my friend. That's just let me know. You got to hit me up on LinkedIn.
On Marbury.
There you go.
That's what I think of when I hear the name Stefan.
Stefan. Yeah, there you go. But Stefan Piscano podcast, please go ahead. It's on YouTube, so go ahead and like and subscribe. Talentless Horton Tucker. EuroLeague, the EuroLeague is enjoying THT.
Hey, he's doing his thing in the EuroLeague, and you know who else is too? Kenny Lofton Jr., bro. He's like the man over there. I think he's in China right now. He's like,
I thought he was gonna make it, even though he's got that terrible physique.
Terrible, but man, he know how to move though. He a big boy. He know how to move with his body. I'm not gonna pause. That sounded crazy.
He could score. He reminded me. Who was the Portland player that used to have just a bad body but could score? Oh God, Zebo, yes, Zebo. He reminded me a little bit of a Zebo type player.
No, for sure. Yeah. He's literally the next coming of Zach Randolph. But he's doing his thing though. Shout out to Kenny.
Shout out to him. And Wenya Gabriel was EuroLeague MVP. So shout out to Wenya Gabriel as well. But
shout out to Cam. Shout out to hold on, I'm blanking on
THT was a clutch client. You do have the right, Stefan. But Rich Paul, it tells you something when even Rich Paul can't keep you in the league after his stop in Chicago.
Cam Reddish. Why the fuck I was blanking her name? Cam Reddish is also doing this thing overseas. Shout out to Cam Reddish.
I think he was also a Clutch client.
They're also a Clutch client, bro. Clutch is like taking over the league. Anyway,
just on the Lakers. Just on the Lakers.
Anyway.
All right. Stefan says I lived in Portland when he had the Jail Blazers. Oh, they were a fun team to watch indeed for all together the right and wrong reasons, but I'll leave it at that. But once again, it is John Costa, Lakers Corner. Please like and subscribe. Check out his 3-minute report. I'm going to be hitting the like button when I see it here in just a couple minutes. I hope you will as well. Don't forget my NBA observations. Playing it on the day off. Tomorrow, day off. Great day to go ahead and pop in NBA observations. And also as well, we'll see you Thursday night when the Lakers play, of course, the Charlotte Hornets. And we'll bring you the post game, the best post game that's out there. There's none better than right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Yes, I do, Alan. I do remember triple-double Reddish. I remember everybody wanting us to get Reddish. Oh, we got to get Reddish. Look at that slam he did with the Knicks. Oh, yeah, so great. So great, John. It was so great. And then
I love Cam Reddish, man.
And we got him.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good one.